And good evening and welcome to the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. My podcast co-host in the update, he's probably wondering why I didn't play the Kale video. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, good evening. How are you?
Good, sir. You doing all right?
Sure.
Well, we got a lot to talk about this evening, including the fallout from the CFP. We've got basketball we can get into, a little NFL playoffs. You want to get into that? Sadly, my Packers season ended today. Sad. Anyway, we'll get into all of that this evening. But, I don't know where you want to start, Jackpot. Oh, I did update the Callaway's Bowl Pick'em Challenge standings. Let me go ahead and we'll run down this really quick here. So right now, if you go to robandkaleshow.com, you'll see the updated standings here. We currently, let's see here, have a three-way tie for first place, Jackpot. And the three-way tie is between Dwayne, Mountain Mama, and somebody named Carolina Jackpot.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, fuck that guy, right? 26 correct picks out of the 41 games. That's pretty solid. Anyway, so the way we're gonna do the final game is we'll obviously have the pick against the spread, and then I think we're gonna do total points, Jackpot. So whoever gets the closest on the total points will win. You think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, I damn it. I should have bet with my head on that first semifinal game and went with Notre Dame. Damn it. I should have known that James Franklin was shit to bed in a big game. And I'd be in the lead right now. Dadgummit.
Yeah.
No. But, I keep holding out faith, but once again, he continues to not win big games. Didn't do it. He didn't do it all year. Didn't win a damn big game all year. Every game that he won was games that they should have won. Yeah.
Sort of like my Packers today, who went 9-1 against teams that were under 500 and 1-5 against everybody else. So they
sound like Clemson.
Go with Clemson too. That's fine.
They sound like Clemson. I had that game. I made some money on that game. Had the Philadelphia minus half a point for the first quarter, and then Saquon went over the rushing total that I'd set for him of 113 yards over on the last time he carried the ball, too. How about that?
That's pretty good. Yes. Pay the jackpot.
Pay Fat Boy. He did. Saquon, the Penn State man, comes through. So, good job there.
So, here's what I got, Jackpot. Just want to put this out there. There are 4 people that can win. Either you, Mountain Mama, Dwayne, Ryan, Caleb Smith could tie theoretically if he gets it right, and the other 3 of you get it wrong.
Yeah.
But those are the 4 that are still in the money here, and obviously you want to go ahead and pick for the last week. That's fine, not a big deal. But those are the standings right there, and you can see them there. So the way we're going to do it is you'll pick the game against the spread. I'll put this form up tomorrow. And then your second question will be total points in the game. Okay? Yeah. So do you think that's big enough tiebreaker there, Jackpot, or do we need one more question?
No, I think total. I think that's
total fair.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. We'll have to figure out something if someone hits the damn. If both people guess the same damn total. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was a little off on my score. I wasn't too far off. I was a little far off on my score prediction for the game on Friday night. I thought it was going to be more like 34-20 Ohio State instead of the 28-14. that it ended up being.
Texas was right there, though. They hung around. They were right there in the mix. And they were.
Yeah.
I was starting to think, shit, maybe I'm smart, but then all of a sudden they got that pick six. So.
Yeah, the Ohio State offense didn't perform as well as I thought it would. But,
right.
I mean, that Texas defense did a pretty good job. Really good job against Jeremiah Smith. That fucker had 3 damn yards receiving in the game. One catch, damn it.
All right, well, anyway, so that's where we are in the Pick'em Challenge standings. You can find them all, find out where you are if you're not in the top 4. But one of those top 4 is going to win it. We shall see who it is. It's going to be an interesting national championship game. Notre Dame and Ohio State. There are some people that are butthurt about Notre Dame going there and not having to play in a conference championship game. I think that's a fair argument. They didn't have to win another game to get there. That's in the mix too. But on the other hand, I think that Notre Dame, with who they've knocked off, jackpot, they knocked off the 2 top teams from I guess Oregon's in that mix too, but they knocked off the Big Ten champion, the team that finished 3rd, and the other team from the Big Ten. I mean, they had a tough road to the final.
Well, they knocked off the SEC champ, and Penn State was the Big Ten runner-up, I guess.
And then, but Ohio State was the champion. No, Oregon was the champion, but
yeah, they'll have to knock off Ohio State if they win. Yeah,
right. But I mean, they had a pretty tough road to the final. Can't really arguing about that. But then when you look at Ohio State, they knock off Tennessee in the first round.
Yep, and then Oregon. So
Oregon, I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty good for them too. So anyway, we'll take your calls tonight if you want to get in on that. I was having a discussion with somebody the other day about we could talk about the different conferences and how they racked up. Like, no SEC team won a game except for Texas in the playoff. So the idea of, oh my God, we are leaps and bounds better than every fucking body else is an absolute lie.
Well, Georgia had a bye, so I mean,
doesn't matter. You had 3 teams in the playoff field, and you only had 1 team get a win. So it's got participation trophies. Simple as that. Anyway, if you want to argue,
ACC got participation trophy too.
And I knew that you were going to spin it to that, but
I'm just making
there's a difference, jackpot. You don't see people running around screaming, "Oh my God, the ACC is the best."
You're the one who pivoted to conference talk. I could give a shit less.
Well,
I mean, my team didn't make it, and then the team I was trying to support in the thing didn't win it. So,
what team were you supporting? Oh, Penn State.
Yeah.
Owen says we don't argue with hardware, Rob. Well, that's good.
There we go.
This year, there will not be any hardware going home for the national championship to the SEC, the ACC, or the Big 12. So there's that.
Well, it's just the same way as last year. There wasn't an SEC team in the final last year either.
Well, do you think the SEC's fallen off, jackpot? Is that a fair question?
I mean, in terms of national championship appearances, yeah. I mean, they were what? Let me see here. I'm trying to think. God dang! I mean, in the national championship game, you had an SEC team in the national championship game, and so I can go backwards in like the 2022 season, 21. The COVID season, 19, 2018, 2017 was Alabama, 2016 was Alabama was in it, 2015 Alabama was in it, 2014 was what? That was Ohio State won that one. Did they beat Alabama? I can't. Was
Yeah,
that
all
Ohio
I'm
State,
saying
Oregon?
is that, yeah, the SEC at one point was a lock that there was going to be an SEC team.
Yeah, it was Ohio. So every year since 2015, an SEC team has been in it. Yeah.
Right. Well, why
And
are they falling off? Why? I mean, because if you believe what we read all the time, this is the best conference in the history of conferences. How can they not get one team in the final? I don't understand.
I don't know. I mean,
Fair question.
I don't know. There's bumps in the road, I guess, because they were saying it was the best conference in college football, even back in 2014 when they didn't put a team in there. So
Billy with a good comment. No, money talks. Now there's parity.
they didn't have a dominant. They didn't have a dominant team this year.
Oregon was 15-0. That's pretty dominant.
Oregon's not in the SEC.
Oh, I mean, I thought you said we didn't have.
They didn't have a dominant. That's what the SEC didn't have a dominant team in the landscape of the world of college football this year, like they have had in the past. So like an undefeated type or whatever. So
yeah, I agree with Billy's
there was
comment.
There was a lot more parity between those at the top too. So
Elijah says the Big Ten is the best conference right now. Okay. Blake says, I think it's less of the SEC falling off and more of other teams catching up. What do you mean by that? Because Ohio State has had a top roster as far as the 247 Sports composite for the past 8 years. I mean, their roster has been that good. So I think that they've just been right there. And now they finally put it together, Jackpot. Are you more surprised about Ohio State being in the final or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
For sure.
So anyway, there's that. We'll take calls on that in a moment.
Would you address Justin's comment over in the comment section?
Clemson is winless against the SEC this year, Rob. Yep, you're absolutely right. Yep. Which tells me the SEC should be dominant.
Good point, Justin. Good point. Thank you.
Like Clemson, how could they not get past Notre Dame? How does that happen? How did you let a bunch of Catholics beat you? I don't get it. Please explain that to me. Zona Tucson says the SEC is done. I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking forward to the day where they get rid of the conferences. They divide it into regions, and you have a north, south, east, and west region, and it's 40 teams in each one, and then all these people that are like, but we get to play Georgia every year. They can stop riding those nuts and actually get out there and be like, oh, well, you're a 9-3 team. We'll look at you as a 9-3 team, not a 9-3 team that, oh my God, every 4 years we play Georgia and we're supposed to fear you. Looking forward to that, and that's what's going to happen eventually. So anyway, if you want to join the program, we'll put the stuff over here. Yeah, I don't get it either, Matthew, but that's the way that it is. Jackpot doesn't. I'm giving him grief this evening, and it's not him, but there are some people like SEC Dog over there that runs around with their Alabama hat on when Georgia loses. It's just the way they are. It's pretty sad. You want to talk about the Gamecock basketball team, how you guys look good on Saturday for a little bit?
Yeah, but you know what? I tried to use this info that I got out of ahead of everybody else, and I dumped a bunch of money. Not a bunch. It was $50 on Auburn to cover that. I told people to hammer Auburn on that. I'm like, they'll probably lose by 50 points and lose down top scorer on the team. And what you know, those son of a bitches go out and almost win the damn thing. What the fuck? Almost win it. Don't cover the Auburn doesn't cover the spread, of course, but still finds a way to win the damn game. Oh, and I hate Bruce Pearl too. Fuck those motherfuckers.
The crazy thing about that game, though, when I watched it, was, Auburn's, the way that Auburn plays and the way that South Carolina plays, it's just like a mismatch. It's just, even when South Carolina is really good, they have issues playing like last year at Auburn. They lost by what, 35 points or something?
It was bad.
It was bad. Anyway, so when that happened, though, I was like, oh, and then South Carolina had two of their guys out. I'm like, Auburn's going to beat them by 30. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, that didn't happen. What a shithole. Basically how that turned.
Well, what's his name? Miles Studi Booty. He's had injury problems since he's been here. But Jabari Thomas was the one that I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Hopefully it's not too much longer. The hell, if they'd have had him in the lineup yesterday, they would have won that game.
But Jackpot, I mean, they played well. It wasn't like it was like they just waved the white flag. I mean, look,
yeah.
I give Quarters credit. I mean, he's come in and he led the team to the tournament, had the choppy first year, but led the team to the tournament. And they almost pulled off one of the biggest upsets in South Carolina history yesterday. This guy can coach. He really can. So,
yeah. Did you see the Duke game yesterday?
I know that they blew out. Who was it they played?
It was Notre Dame. That Cooper Flagg, that freshman. Holy shit!
Yeah, well, you know, he worked out with the Olympic team, and like LeBron James was like, "This kid is the truth."
It's the emergence of the white boy back again in college basketball.
I know, right? We don't have very many of those. But yeah, I mean, he was out there playing against, you know, the Olympic team, and they were handing it to the Olympic team in Las Vegas with the college kids. So
wow.
I mean, he was the only college kid there, so it was pretty. He's definitely could play. Clemson, no problem with Florida State yesterday. Tigers moved to 11-3 on the season, something like that. So
yeah. I actually bet on them too. First half, Clemson first half, that covered as well. I've been on fire really lately, except for the South Carolina fuck up yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. The only team that you have issues with is your own.
Yeah. So I should just go back to my own philosophy of don't bet on the Gamecocks. Just don't bet on them. Period.
Yeah. Here, let's read this dumb comment from an idiot. The pesky poll says, I'm being told ACC basketball will be a one-bid conference this year. I'll bet you $50 that doesn't happen. If you want to bet, have at it. If not, shut your hole. Moving on. LeBron has a nose for talent. Ask Ronnie. That's funny. Is Tennessee legit basketball-wise? I mean, they're number one.
Well, they're not going to be after. They're not going to be tomorrow.
Right, but as of right now. So, Gamecock Chuck agrees with me. You should have put it all on the women's team today. Like, bet with Don Staley.
I can't. A lot of time I can't bet on them, Chuck. It won't. It has let me bet now. Like in the tournament and stuff, when they get in the tournament, I can bet on them. But a lot of times for regular season games, they're not anywhere to be found on my form.
Yeah. Well, that's probably going to change soon. People want to bet on this shit. You know how that is.
There are some people that they want to bet on shit so bad, and then they can't do it. I remember what was it? Was it back during the Rona or something? Maybe when there were people were betting on like Korean baseball or something because
weren't they betting on like that like virtual NASCAR or whatever the hell it was?
Yeah, it was like because MLB was shut down for a while. Remember, right. Until they brought the cardboard cutouts out and started playing some games. Well, that was weird.
That was shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was so weird.
Stands. That looks.
They didn't start playing until like July or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean it was a shortened season.
Yeah, because I think I was in the Poconos at Shawnee when the first games were played, and I remember watching somebody. It was Philadelphia, and somebody was on TV, and they had those damn cutouts. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? But that was nuts.
David says he was betting on Japanese ninja fights. Very good, sir. Very good.
Yeah, the Gamecock women's team, Dwayne says they're starting to get turned. Yeah, they're starting to get warmed up. I think that loss they had earlier in the season is probably gonna help them out a little bit. Got them a little bit grounded, you know.
I goof on SEC Dog, but he says SEC is decent at basketball right now, but the ACC is still the best conference. Not this year, man. ACC's got maybe 4 or 5 teams. After that, it is a steep drop off. Steep. It's. I think that a lot of it's got to do with, they don't have the coaches that they had at one point. There is no Roy Williams.
There's no Roy Williams, no Jim Boeheim anymore.
No Mike Krzyzewski, none of that. So, how
Leonard Hamilton's gone now too, isn't he?
No, he's still at Florida State.
Oh, he's still there?
I think Hamilton's 72 years old, Jackpot.
Are they suing him or something?
About some NIL stuff. Yeah, that's happening, but
so he is still there. Okay.
He's still there.
Who's the coach at Louisville now?
I don't know. Where's Big Barney Ross? He knows all about
Louisville. They have a new one. They've gotten a lot better.
Cardinals, man. Yeah, they've gotten better. Basketball coach. I don't know who he is. Let's see who he is. Pat Kelsey. That's right. The guy from Winthrop.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I knew it was somebody that somebody had been at a smaller school. I noticed St. John's has gotten a lot better under Rick Pitino. And I saw Georgetown playing UConn yesterday. It looks like they're trying to get off the struggle bus too, because they were really bad. Georgetown was.
But with us growing up, they weren't bad at all.
No, they were. Yeah, they were a Final Four team back then. So yeah.
So, all right. Well, anyway. There's that. Jackpot, you've been doing pretty – how'd your NFL picks go? I know you picked the Eagles, right?
I had the Eagles in the first quarter today, and that won for me. So, and I continue to just do these little prop bets of the players and yards, and they seem to be doing pretty well for me. I think it was Derrick Henry I had yesterday who went over on his rushing total. Again, he's a money-making machine. I've bet on him like 3 or 4 times this year, and he just continues to print money for Carolina Jackpot. So
he's going to buy Jackpot a new house.
Yeah, right. Maybe a TP, but
maybe a TP.
Orange Flavor said the Lady Vols are a lot better. They're ranked only one. No, they got 2 losses from what I saw. I think they're 14-2. Here they come. Who'd you have
in the night game tonight, Jackpot? Did you have the Commandos or the Buccos?
I forgot that game was even on, but it is, isn't it? I would say Tampa Bay. What's the score of it right now?
I had it on earlier, but I think Baker Mayfield just made some stupid ass run.
I actually took a nap.
10-3, but the Buccos are on the Commandos' 18-yard line with 17 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, I took a nap before we did the pod here. I laid down for about an hour and 15 minutes with my dogs and slept, and I snuck in here to do the podcast, and they're actually still laying in the bed asleep.
Oh, Ziggy needs his rest.
Yeah, Ziggy's right here with me.
Okay.
Ziggy actually got a bath today. He decided to go out and run up and down the fence line outside there, and it's our backyard. It's a fucking slushy ass mess from where all that snow melted off. Well, that little bit of snow we had melted off, and the whole backyard's kind of nasty. So he looked like he went mudding. So I had to go give him a bath. But he needed one anyway, so that was probably pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah. You're getting soft now. You soft now. You are. What's it? I've seen a lot of people on this Nextdoor app. This thing, it's kind of like Facebook for neighborhoods. Like there, a lot of people were kind of being overly critical of the meteorologist here at News Channel 4 in the upstate, Chris Justice, I think is his name. For he predicted, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 inches of snow up here, and we got like a fucking dusting. And they're like, making all these nasty comments from shit. I'm like, I mean, what the hell's wrong with you people? Nobody's giving you a crappy weather forecast on purpose. I mean, he has the model. He's giving you the best prediction that he can. It's not. He can't change the force of the weather patterns.
Yeah.
And what's the big deal anyway? What are you so mad about? I mean, what are you going to do if it was wrong the other way and we had 8 inches of snow? You'd bitch about that too. For him not having you prepared enough.
Well, people don't. I mean, they always get the weather wrong.
It's a society of, excuse me, no offense, a bunch of Karens who just want to bitch about stuff. Come on, yeah. People doing the best they can.
So, yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. We got to talk about Carson Beck going to Miami. Already putting out Miami signs. Apparently, the paycheck for him is $4 million. To put that into perspective, Will Levis was the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans this year and made $900,000 in his first year in the league. So
that is fucking ridiculous, dude.
Just perspective. You go play in the NFL, you make $900,000 to be the starting quarterback from one of 30 franchises around the country, or you can go to shithole Miami and get $4 million. Yeah. There's that.
But, I mean, this guy is, I don't know about him. I don't know about him, Rob. I think he's just a little bit above average, maybe. And that's when he's got his fucking head screwed on straight. In the middle of the season this year, I mean, in most places, he would have been benched. I mean, he was horrible.
Well, he had good numbers, Jackpot. His numbers weren't bad, but I don't know.
He was an interception machine in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but let's look at the total numbers for him. So, all right. So in the SEC, he finished third in the conference with 3,485 yards. He threw 28 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
Yeah.
So, he was 3 off the leader as far as touchdowns go. There were, Quinn Ewers threw 12 picks. Garrett Nussmeier threw 12 picks. So, there's
but his were concentrated. He threw all his in like a 6-game stretch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish they'd played South Carolina so our defensive line could they'd have whipped that damn boy silly.
Yeah, well.
But, damn it. But we had to have Mizzou on the schedule.
Yeah, Mizzou every year. What are you talking about?
Well, they're not an every year opponent. They're not the permanent. Well, they were in our division. So yeah, you're right on that. I don't know how that's going to play out after this coming season.
I don't know. Let's are your permanent opponents? Let's look at that because I think Mizzou is a permanent opponent. I think it's Mizzou, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. Let me make sure.
It's Mizzou, Kentucky, Vandy, and Texas A&M, right?
Looking at it right now. Let's see here. Schedule format announced today. Home games against blah, 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 blah. What is this? It doesn't tell me, It doesn't tell me. This is from the university. You'd expect them to do better, but I guess they change it every year. But
Well, they're going to have to do something. Had said something about still possibly going to that pod format. They've got to do something to level up the schedules in that conference because, I mean, some of those teams are just their schedules were way too easy, and they skipped way too many of the good teams, and then others it was vice versa.
I don't know what they're going to do about that, but it's your schedule could, in theory, end up being really, really tough one year because let's be honest. Mizzou has won 10 games a year for the past 2 years, so they've moved as far as I think they're. I mean, you win 10 games, that's makes you a pretty good program, right? 2 years in a row. Georgia's always up there. Florida hasn't been, but your schedule could flip-flop because, 3 years from now, Mizzou could be the shits, and then Florida could move up, but Florida may move off. It's just they got to figure out something with that. I don't know what the the best way to do it is, but
it's going to take someone smarter than both of us, which quite honestly wouldn't be that hard to find.
Probably. What you could do is see that what they have done is that a lot of the rivalry games that we thought that mattered, like South Carolina playing Tennessee, South Carolina playing Georgia, the league office determined, nah, fuck you. We don't care about those. We care about Georgia, Auburn. We care about Texas, Oklahoma. We want to make sure that we protect those matchups, but we're not going to care about those other ones. And
to me, I think that each SEC team, each team, that they should have one main rivalry game that they keep, that they play every year that's not going to go away. And then like the secondary rivalries, like the Georgia, Auburn, the Tennessee, Alabama, that shit. I mean, they're not going to be able to play it every year, just so that they can create some more parity with the matchups or whatever. So like Georgia, Florida gets played every year, okay? And then like Tennessee, Vanderbilt gets played every year, and so on and so forth. But then you scrap some of these other ones. Alabama, Auburn gets played every year. Maybe that would create a little bit more parity. It's like they try to preserve too much, and then you got other teams like South Carolina and Mizzou, and these teams don't have a traditional rival in the conference. That Clemson is the Gamecocks' traditional rival, and they're a different conference, so it makes things a little bit difficult, I guess.
Well, I think maybe they could do a weighted schedule where they take the year from the year before and they weigh your schedule out and have some of the bottom feeders play each other. I don't know. I like the idea of, look, we're gonna do away with the conference championship. The conference commissioner will select who is going to be their conference champion. I also like the idea of retraction, meaning that if you're a shithole program and you don't win enough games, then after 3 seasons, if you don't have a set amount of conference wins, then we can permit you, kick you out, basically. Say, look, you can't compete for the conference title. You don't give a shit enough about football, or you haven't gotten it right yet. Do like the Premier League over there where certain teams, they can go up and down as far as leagues go. I think that's a great thing to do because then we can have certain schools that don't spend their money or can't seem to get it right. Stop putting them on everybody's schedule and fucking up their schedules.
Well, they get the schedules. They don't have to come out that early. I mean, how soon does the NFL schedules come out before the season? It's not that long, really. Well,
NFL schedule releases in like April, I believe. I can't remember.
Yeah, so I mean, Jay Rice in the comment section. I don't know if he's trying to troll me or what, but he says, "Jackpot, why do you not like Bruce? He seems like a good, enthusiastic. He's a damn slime ball, and he beats us every time that we play him. That's why I don't like him."
He seems like he cares, though, Jackpot. He seems like he cares.
Yeah. Every one of them better care to some degree.
And that's fine. I just like the idea of I would like to have. There are certain conferences and certain teams in conferences that just don't give a shit. They want the paycheck from football, but they're not going to do what you need to do to have a good program. Boston College is one of them. Duke is one of them. I mean, they don't put the where the money behind it to make it good. So
For football, well, not Duke wasn't that bad this year.
you have to walk across the fucking parking lot to get to the visitors' fucking locker room, sir, at Duke.
You have to walk across a parking lot.
Yeah, I walk across the street to get to the damn fucking to get to the damn visitors' locker room at Duke. It's a shit.
This is like during the visiting team has to cross some street.
Yeah, to go to a fucking to go to the locker room. Yeah.
Well, it's just old. It's old, and they haven't really redesigned it. I mean, that's no different than the Taters having to get on a damn bus to ride around to run down a hill.
And to be fair, to add to the discussion, Duke has in the past 2 years spent a lot in NIL. I mean, Malik Murphy, he was a big pickup last year.
They spent a ton of money on this new quarterback they got coming in.
That's that guy I was telling y'all about earlier.
Yeah, I was shocked when you mentioned how much that he made, and I looked at that. I wasn't fact checking you, but I thought that I had heard that, and I looked at it, and it turns out, it's like $4 million.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of money. He's supposed to be one of the better. I don't think he was rated as high as Aaron Nolan, granted, but I think he was supposed to be one of the better portal quarterbacks.
Mensa, yeah.
So,
well, he should have been rated higher than Aaron Nolan because he played.
He put tape up, yeah.
He actually put some numbers up for people to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's going to have three years of eligibility, I think. The only worry with that is if they get Malik Murphy again, where it's just a stepping stone transfer. I mean, that's a brutal spot to be in.
Some programs are going to be that way, though.
But they're Duke is probably willing to be that, though. You know what I mean?
Well, if that gets them to 8 and 9 wins, why the hell not?
Yeah, if they do it every year, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, who's Notre Dame? Who's going to be Notre Dame's quarterback next year? Who'd they go get?
I don't know. Let me go check that.
Yeah, I know that he had to have went and gotten a portal QB. He does it every time.
Doesn't Leonard have another year?
I don't know.
Does he?
Leonard
wasn't all that impressive statistically this year, though, was he?
Championship game, he's let him there.
Yeah, that's true. Can't argue that. I just think I looked up his stats. I forget when it was. It might have just been shown up on the TV. And I don't think he had all that statistically that great of a year.
Someone out there said I don't understand full college stuff. Look, I'm thinking that football is going to break away eventually because that's where all the money is. And I think that other sports, it's going to get to a point where other sports are going to have to take care of themselves and not have the football team carry them. I think that eventually we may get to a point where we have 60 teams that are competing for the quote-unquote national title. The other ones will play, but it won't be the same thing. Yeah. That's where I'm going with my line of thinking. It's going to be more like what the NFL is now. That's why you don't have expansion franchises in Louisville or pick your whatever here. You know, there's 30 NFL teams, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, the thing is, I'm just not sure that could ever get enforced. Like, I mean, the teams who would get let out, they, be it as it may, they got some say in what goes on in the NCAA.
You have your 60 teams, and you tell the 60 teams, look, you're going to sign a contract here to stay with us.
Or just like join it as in I thought you were talking about NCAA rules.
No, if the 60 teams join, and just tell the 60 teams there, if you don't do what you're supposed to do or what we think is correct, if you have a bunch of teams that finish 0-12. And every year it's an 0-12 or 2-10 or whatever, or you're just a shithole, we're going to boot you out and put somebody else in. That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, it's basically just the
Essentially
soccer
where-
system. Yeah,
Exactly.
soccer
Oh, you're
relegation.
talking about what is that
Premier League.
model?
Yeah, it's the
Model
soccer
called
Premier League model.
relegating or
Relegation.
something.
Yeah, it's the
Relegation,
relegation model. The way they do it in soccer is the bottom 3 are demoted, the top 3 are promoted. Imagine if, I don't know, pie in the sky, if they're doing 60 teams, maybe you could do like the bottom 10 and do like some
I
sort
don't
of
know if it should be that far, but I don't know. I
something.
mean,
Yeah. Well, you got to
could
think,
have-
you get down to 60s, you're looking at programs like what? I mean, that's like Utah State, probably, Baylor. I mean,
Louisiana Tech,
Louisiana, yeah.
Coastal.
Baylor made a bowl game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They'd be kind of towards the bottom of the state. Didn't they just go 500 though? Am I making that up?
Baylor, I thought they won 7 or 8 games.
I might be making that up then. I thought they went like
Where's old
500.
Baylor man at when you need him?
Yeah, where is Baylor, man?
They won 8 games.
That's an impressive year from them. But yeah, I like the idea, Rob. I just don't know of the
break away from colleges. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to have their own national champion. Just saying, I think that's what's going to happen eventually. Maybe not now.
I just don't know. I see where you're going with it. I just don't know how even the 60 teams signing up for it are going to go for it, because just that alone is going to lower their chances to win a natty.
Over playing against 120 teams?
Yeah, I think so, because you're taking your cohort that would be 120 teams that's scaled on like a normal distribution, and you're just taking the 60 teams at the top of the, you know what I'm saying, top of the distribution. So even though it'd be less teams, it's going to be a higher skill level. So I mean, you got your soft ass teams like, I don't know, Ohio State would probably bitch about that.
You know,
Southern Cal is definitely going to bitch about it. So that's the struggle you're going to run into with that.
I think the thing that would kill it is that you would regionalize the sport so much that, I mean, you'd end up putting a lot of people out of it. So
Pesky Pole with a good comment over here in the comment section. He says Rob is talking about professionalizing college football. That is where you lose Dabo. He will go and do something else. Yeah. Dabo made kind of a disingenuous statement there that he couldn't walk back. He just kind of skirted on past it and
just never addressed it again. Hey, has there been any headway on the
actually,
DC?
as if he never said it, really, you know?
That's true. Has there been any headway on the new DC for Clemson?
There's been talk about it, but I don't know who they're going to go with.
Are they going to get Tom Allen? I thought that was that's the
I read something earlier. I don't know, man.
Somebody put a post up on Twitter, and they I don't know if they were trolling or if they actually just fucked around and put the wrong name.
What the hell is that?
What is that, an air hose? Somebody put your air hose up.
That's not me. I don't think it's me. Is it me? Is it me?
I don't know. I don't have an air hose. What the heck is that?
Is your aux plugged in, Rob? Maybe your aux came loose or something? No, we can't hear you. Yeah, we can. I thought it was me at first.
Jesus.
You know, I'll wait for. I would have liked to have Robin, but while we got a little silence, I'll fill the room with this. I saw a preseason.
Billy Cole said it was Peckerhead's blow-up doll.
Was it?
Did that fix it?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Billy, why don't you go pop you a Blue Chew and go watch some Nico highlights versus Oklahoma, because that's about the only game he looks halfway decent. All right, if we're talking about that. But back to what I was saying, I saw a pregame poll from Brad Crawford. He's a name I see pop up. I don't know how knowledgeable he is, but it was an interesting poll. It had Clemson at 6 and South Carolina at 9 in a way too early preseason poll.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to go that high on either team.
Well, I don't think that when I look at what Clemson has 16 starters returning out of the 22. So I guess that's kind of his logic, the way he's looking at that. South Carolina's losing a ton of players.
Yeah.
To have them rated that high this early is kind of silly, in my opinion. They may end up getting there.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to be a top 25 team preseason, though.
That's fair, but hey.
I wasn't ready to go top 10, though.
A top 10
that
team.
surprised me.
No Rocket Sanders. No Boogie.
Well, we got Rocket Phase on now.
Yeah. We'll see how
Rocket Phase on. I think the thing is, though, and that was a good point that you brought up. He's definitely
it's all about replacing them, you know? I mean,
right.
Well, he's not going to be the passing back that Rocket was. I will say that. He's a lot smaller than Rocket is. So he's a different style of back, you know. But maybe Attaway can come in. Attaway's a little bit bigger. So
I just watched a play where the Redskins had, or the Commandos, sorry, they had like 4th and inches or whatever, 3rd and inches or whatever. And instead of running Jaden Daniels in the quarterback sneak, they sent Marcus Mariota out there and let him run it. And then you get your head caved in and then run back to the sidelines, dickhead. Thank you for playing. What a mess.
That is. And my condolences, by the way. My girlfriend's a Packers fan, so she was distraught about the game today as well.
Your girlfriend has good taste then if she's a Packers fan. That's
well, she definitely has good taste. That's why she picked me out of the bunch. So I agree with you on that one.
Well, your team picked up your
Yeah, Vrabel. I told you I wanted Vrabel. We got Vrabel. He was probably the best guy on the market, I think. I'm really excited to have Mike Vrabel. I mean, he took the Titans from the dump to what he win 11 games at the Titans, right? That was back before the extra game.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, though, he just seems like he's boring to me. But if he wins games, it doesn't matter.
He's kind of like Dan Campbell. He's a bit like Dan Campbell. I don't know. I like him. He's got to be better than Mayo. I mean, Mayo. Granted, we didn't. We didn't give Mayo a chance. We just put him out there with a fucking anvil at his feet and told him to swim. I mean, let's just be honest.
He put you out of the number 1 pick. No wonder he got fired hours afterwards.
Well, that was Joe Milton's bitch ass. I don't know what he was doing. They ought to cut him just off of principle. If I'm being honest, cut him off principle. He screwed us. Not only did he screw us out of the number 1 pick, he screwed us out of a top 3 pick. I'm all right with moving back, but
wait. Remember, you were here. The Tennessee fans said he could throw the ball 70 yards on his knees. Remember those conversations? He can kneel.
Why the hell is some idiot going to be walking around on his knees throwing footballs for?
I don't know. I think they were trying to justify the fact that he could throw the football a long way, but 70 yards from his knees.
I do remember.
Can you be accurate with it?
Yeah, Joe Milton had a lot of hype coming into that. What was that? 2 years ago, I guess.
Yeah,
he did. I wouldn't say he had as much as Nico, but he definitely had a lot of hype.
Hell no, no way he had as much as damn Nico. I haven't heard anybody so damn hyped up. I haven't heard anybody be so hyped up turn out to be such a damn popcorn fart.
Well, that too. That's a good point. Well, I guess maybe some of the Southern Cal quarterbacks, a lot of them have flamed out.
I got in an argument with our Tennessee fan. I think it was our boy Daniel the other day who said something about, well, go back and look. Nico had more passing touchdowns than Sellers did, and he had a higher QBR. And I said, I commented back, I don't know where you're looking because Sellers had a higher QBR. Also, let's talk about rushing yards now. Yeah. And it was crickets. So.
Yeah, they were relatively.
Remember, I have a bet with who is it? Whatever his name is, and Billy.
Billy and Mike, I think. Was it Mike? No, Mike Bridges didn't do it. It was All Nation, I think.
Wayne something or another. Wayne, whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, Wayne Starnes.
Yeah, Wayne Starnes. Got a 6-pack of beer bet with them about Tennessee finishing with the top 5 passing.
Top 5. Okay.
Top 5. And they're like, oh, they're jumping at the bits at that. And I'm like, you realize you finished like 9th in passing in the conference this year, right? With Heupel and the hype offense, 9th in the conference in passing. And you've gone down steadily since Hooker left, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, it is interesting how they've kind of flipped. I mean, early on, Heupel, he was known for terrible defense. What's Ziggy doing? Ziggy Cam. Sleeping like it just worked an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
You should take him on the tater chip truck. He'd probably just hang out with you.
What now?
Take him on the tater trip.
Take him on the tater trip truck. He'd probably just lay there and hang out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good old boy.
Yeah, Heupel's kind of switched his motto from like the real pass heavy, kind of forgetting about the run, forgetting about defense. Now they're a little better at defense and they run the ball a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that. Did they lose their OC or something? What kind of caused that switch?
They did. They did. Their OC got a head coaching job at South Florida.
Okay, that probably aided in the.
Man, I think that's still Heupel's. That's still his defense. I think he wanted to run the ball. He uses the run to kind of spread the field out and open up for the pass. So
yeah, and they had
snowing in upstate South Carolina. No, it's not.
No,
it was sunny today. It snowed on Friday.
We didn't get as much as was projected either. So
we sure didn't. I came on home. I got finished with my work. I could have kept on working, but I just came on home because I didn't know if it was going to get bad out or not. So I came on home about 1, and we chilled out here in the house, and it kind of stopped about 3 o'clock. It was done.
Yeah, we pretty much just got snow, and then it all turned to fucking ice. There's still some ice about. I'm sure it's probably about the same for you. But I'm not as worried. The thing is, Tennessee was one of the teams that kind of benefited from having a softer SEC schedule. They'll have it again next year. Missouri, if Missouri can put together a decent year and not shit the bed against, I mean, really, they just have to beat us, and they're probably getting to the playoffs. If you think about it. Who else do they have? Does Missouri play Georgia? Isn't that their other tough game?
I'm looking at their football schedule.
They have the softest one. Missouri, I think, just has to basically get past Carolina, and they're in the
whatever it was this past year. I mean, it's the same teams on it. Mississippi State, Arkansas.
I think they missed everyone.
Gamecocks, Vandy. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of the teams that they play are going to be significantly better or worse.
All right, so here's Mizzou's schedule for next year. Let's see if it's as shitty as it was this year. They open the season August 30th on a toasty night in Colatown when they welcome in Central Arkansas.
Oof.
Followed by
he coached at Arkansas State. I was about to say, isn't that where Butch Jones was at?
Yeah, no, that's not it. No, that's not as tough as that one.
Jackpot. The Mazodcast guys will be crazy about this. They play Kansas September.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I saw that.
Give me 1 second.
No, I'm not mocking. I mean, they're playing. At least they're playing a Big 12 team. So that's pretty good, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by the Raging Cajuns from Louisiana. Then they got South Carolina at home. Wait a minute. These motherfuckers, they don't leave home.
Yeah. They've got a crazy home stretch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Their first six, they don't go on a road trip, Jackpot, until October 18th.
Holy shit.
6 straight games.
Yeah.
At home.
A lot of their hard ones are at home, right?
Well, they got South Carolina at home. They got Alabama at home.
Oh.
Then they go to Auburn, to Vandy. They welcome in A&M. Then they welcome in Mississippi State. They play at Oklahoma. And games. What's the last game? Mississippi State, I said. They got A&M, Oklahoma, Arkansas. They finished the season on the road, but
it's a weak schedule. And their hardest games are all at home. Texas A&M, I guess you could look at Oklahoma.
Who's their other non-conference game? Because you said Central Arkansas, Louisiana, and Kansas.
Well, I didn't think I needed to bring up UMass, but UMass.
Oh God,
the Minutemen.
I thought they played. They play Illinois. That might be the next year. They have a series scheduled with Illinois too.
Yeah, so that's their schedule. That's
what I'm saying. They're looking at if they can get by South Carolina, even if they lose 2 games. I mean, they're probably still going to have a shout at least the SEC championship.
Look at their next game. I mean, they got Alabama. That'll be a tough game, I would think. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you got a bunch of teams that finished 7-5.
Who did they just get? They just got a transfer quarterback, didn't they, Bama? Who did they just pick up?
Whoever. It's kind of hard to get news from Alabama because they don't have fluoride in their water. They can't really get news.
Yeah, they did.
I thought they got someone decent. I'm about to look it up. Give me 1 second.
So, I don't know. Matt's mid as of right now. That's probably true.
They got
speaking of Kansas, where's Mark Mangino? I guess he's somewhere eating Utz. I'd like to have an Utz chip eating competition sponsored by Utz between Mangino and Brett Bielema. I think that'd be entertaining as hell.
No, they don't have a transfer quarterback coming in.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Who's gonna be running? I guess. Well, they got the number 2 overall prospect in the country. He's a quarterback, Keelan Russell. You think they're gonna roll out a freshman week 1?
What's that guy's name? Simpson? Is he not in line to start there?
Ty Simpson? Is he still there? No way. I feel like he's been there for a while now. No.
I don't know.
He was there. Shit. He was there at least. He was backing up Milroe's freshman year, I think. I want to say Milroe got hurt in his freshman year, and Ty Simpson came in for him. So he had to have been there for a while.
Well, Milroe's freshman year, he was backing up Bryce Young,
or whatever first year starting. I guess that's
yeah, that would have been 2023.
So maybe he's still there. But Alabama, I don't know. Them and Oklahoma, I'm not sure what we're going to see from them. Oklahoma is probably the bigger question mark. I mean, do y'all think there's any semblance? I mean, Matthew Goldsmith, I think, is in the chat too, so don't go too harsh. But y'all think they're able to get some sort of rebuild going fast there next year? At Oklahoma.
Well, if they don't, then Dabo should just run the defense himself this year and get Venables back after that. Why not at this juncture? Dabo, I'm saving us money. We're going to donate the $2 million that we were going to pay the DC. We're going to donate that to the NIL fund. Bring in some fresh Tigers.
Yeah,
I'll be the DC. Why not?
They got a good quarterback. I think they got the number 1 transfer quarterback. It was some dude from Washington State named Mater. I didn't watch a whole lot of him.
John Mateer.
Yeah, Mateer. I didn't watch a whole lot of him, but he was the number 1 transfer portal quarterback. And they took a second quarterback. So
he's real good.
Yeah.
He's really fun to watch.
Quarterback was the biggest problem for them. I don't know if wide receiver. I mean, Jackson Arnold he's not what you bought. You know what I mean? He was not what you bought.
He transferred. He left.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But last year, he didn't show up, and there was a lot of blame going to the wide receivers. But I mean, granted, I didn't watch a crazy amount of them, but just looking at that Oklahoma game, I mean, that was all on Jackson Arnold. Damn near every single one.
He's straight ass.
Yeah.
He's ass. I mean,
to be fair, he got 0 protection too. It seemed like he got hit every play. Let's give credit to the Gamecock line for
That's fair, but
This
he did get
motherfucker
benched
scored
twice.
90 seconds into the damn game.
He got benched
You know what he
twice
did
in one
do?
game, though.
You know what he did do? He tuned up that Alabama ass.
Did he? Oh, yeah, at the end of the year. He was starting for that one?
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
So,
well,
there's
it
that.
seems like everybody but the Gamecocks tuned up that Alabama ass. So,
Well, we tuned it up too. I mean, we just,
shut the bed at the end.
yeah. Yeah, man.
He cocked it up. It's all right.
What
Yeah.
might have been.
And I want to go ahead and
Well, we softened them up. Gamecocks,
Whatever,
Vanderbilt softened them up, and Gamecocks helped with that, and kind of set them up for failure down the stretch.
Yeah, I just hope we beat the piss out of Ole Miss. They're the team I want to beat this coming year. I don't think they're going to be as good as who did they? They're the ones who got Jackson Arnold, right?
No, that was Auburn.
Who did Ole Miss end up picking up? They picked up someone.
Lane Kiffin will have somebody to play quarterback.
I thought Jackson Dart was staying.
Is Juice Wells done? He's done, right?
Yeah, Juice Wells is done.
He's got to be.
No, he can't be. He declared for the draft, I think.
Declare for the draft. I'm not trolling. I'm just asking if Juice.
No, I'm
Wells
talking about Dart. I don't think Dart
Dart's
is Dart staying. No, they don't. So they don't have a transfer quarterback as of now. So I guess they're rolling with who they've got on their roster.
Hold on. Let's look that up with Juice Wells. Juice. He may be there next year. Someone said he's got a year left. We'll see. Juice Wells.
Let me see if they got anything.
Yeah, he's still there.
Is he really? Oh.
I think
No,
so.
they don't have a high ranking. I guess they're just going to roll with who they got. I don't know who their backup was this year, but
I wish he'd just fucking go away.
Who's that? Juice Wells? Yeah, he's a prick, dude.
It says he's a senior, but he's only played. He gets 1 year, right? I think he gets another year because he didn't play.
He saved a year by dicking an injury.
Yep.
Dicking an injury over on Carolina.
So
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, he gets the 1 more year to drag nuts in South Carolina again.
Well, he didn't really do anything. He
Y'all
was
were
a
so
non-factor.
Y'all were so bent out of shape about Juice Wells. That's why he lost that game.
It could have very well be the case.
I mean, because they were fucking hurt.
And the thing is, it was just all dysfunctional. I know that game happened a long time ago, but that was probably the most dysfunctional we saw that team.
That was the worst game they played all year to me, by far.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to see that show up. This team coming back, even if Juice Wells is there, it's not going to have the same emotional hit. I mean, a lot of those guys are going to be gone. You know.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying about your team. We don't know what you're going to have yet, but there's people out there talking about, and you mentioned Crawford said they're a top 10 team. I'm like,
yeah. Let's
slow down a second and see who you've got filling some of these holes because you're losing. I mean, you're losing, in my opinion, one of the conference's best safeties. You're losing one of the conference's best running backs. I mean, you're losing
one of the conference's best linebackers.
Right. You're losing some guys. So just this whole thing of we're just going to dust that off and we're going to be a top 10 team I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. The only thing with that excites me is that what it seems like is for what we're losing on defense, we're making similar additions on offense. So it seems like kind of a flip is happening where you might see the Carolina offense be a lot better than the defense for a first time in a long fucking time.
I think they probably will be.
Because, I mean, we're stacking.
The offense was a lot better than the defense in the year before, Rattlers last year, too.
Fair. That's fair. All of them except for the O-line. But, yeah, I digress. But we're stacking the wide receiver room. I think you're going to see Harbor. He's been progressing well. He's can finally run a fucking out.
None of those guys play on the defensive line. None of those guys are safeties. None of those guys are going to play running back for you. I mean, you got to think about it.
I'm not worried about it. Listen, Carolina is a DB factory. Eman Worry is a big loss, but I'm very confident Torian Gray has someone coached up right behind him. I mean, you can count on Carolina having, a first or second round DB on their roster. Just
Yeah,
about
you got Bakari Swain coming back, Kilgore, Judge. These are all good players.
That's what I'm saying. And like I said, Torian Gray, he's one of the best out there. I mean, out of nowhere, you're going to see someone pop up, just like Eman Worry did, just like J.C. Horn did.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to pop up. The bigger hit on the defense is going to be the linebackers, if I'm being honest. Kyle Kennard, I mean, you still got an excellent edge piece out there with Dylan Stewart, and we're bringing in some – Andrew Jones is a really good transfer out on the – he'll probably play on the other side alongside Stewart. So you're bringing in a good edge. It's going to be the linebacker that makes or breaks your defense, and that's where we saw the biggest improvement. But for all that we're losing there, what we're bringing in on offense should excite Gamecock fans everywhere. I mean, though, we're finally going to have some legit wide receivers to choose from. We're not going sifting through 3 stars. All right, the room is basically nothing but 4 stars. It should be improved.
Yeah, you brought in 3. They're bringing in 3 really good receivers.
Well, they got 5 4-star receivers they're bringing in.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Those guys have played though.
That's what I'm saying. But I think they had 3 in the last cycle, and all of them basically started. I know Mazio he pretty much was our wide receiver 1 all year as far as routes ran.
Yeah.
So Mazio, and he's another guy not a lot of people are talking about is Mazio Bennett. I think he's a guy who's going to he could pop next year. He had an excellent freshman campaign, in my opinion. You didn't see him drop the ball. He runs crisp routes.
Yeah, till he got hurt. He was hooping.
Yeah. So I'm excited about him. There's just a lot to be excited about. I'm not sure. Like I said, though, I'm ready to go top 10. I'd like us maybe around the 16, 17 next year. I want us to have something to look forward to as far as like playing for. I don't just want to be anointed in preseason. I don't like the I don't like the look of that. A lot of teams come out and shit the bed after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
don't you open up like hold on?
Is Virginia Tech?
That's Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Which
do they still have drones? Cameron drones?
I think so.
He kind of had a shitty year though, didn't he? He had so much hype going into the year too.
Yeah. They're
all right. So when we look at the Gamecock
kind of laughable down the stretch.
Virginia Tech to start, and then you play South Carolina State and Vanderbilt. Diego Pavia coming to Columbia on the 13th.
The 13th of September?
13th of September, yes, sir.
Damn, that's odd to be playing them so early.
Then you play at Mizzou, followed by Kentucky.
Same thing with them, too. That's weird.
Yep. Then you play Kentucky, and then you go to LSU, followed by a home game with Oklahoma, home game with Alabama. So you go Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss, back to back to back, with LSU right before.
Definitely a taffy start to the beginning of the schedule there.
But then the middle of the schedule is brutal. The 11th is LSU, then Oklahoma.
They're away games too, aren't they?
Alabama, Ole Miss.
Oklahoma ain't worried about them.
I'm just saying, it's not like you're playing Kentucky. I mean, they're better than Kentucky is.
By how much? I mean, really, one game better.
Didn't they play each other?
No, Kentucky played Texas.
Okay.
Texas, but anyway.
I lost to them by 10.
That's the toughest part of your schedule, though. At LSU, Oklahoma at home, Alabama at home. Alabama's your homecoming opponent. That's weird. And then
I think they were in 2019.
Disrespecting them. They're going to be fucking mad.
Yeah, I think they were in 2019 as well. Back when they called back 2 fake punt touchdowns and absolutely ruined Muschamp's chance of winning that game.
I know that was they bastardized Will in that game for sure.
I was actually Najee hurdled someone in that game.
Yeah.
Najee Harris hurdled a motherfucker en route to like a 50-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Sports Talk with Tom Bailey says the SEC sucks. Big Ten, Big Ten, Big Ten. Thank you for contributing to the program, sir. Please don't beat your wife. I'll do that.
You know, Alabama's probably going to start the season off like 4 or 5-0, and he's going to be wanting to get back on the train and take that Ohio State thing down. They're going to say, nope, we don't want you back.
That's the same Tom Bailey, the trucker?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious, actually.
Somebody wants to buy you a new hat, sir.
Who's that? I don't think you can replace these hats. I don't think they even sell them anymore.
But you got them out of a McDonald's Happy Meal, right?
No. The Garnet Black tradition, sir. You know,
my son had one of those.
Did he?
Yeah, there's. I got some old video of me from probably 10 years ago now, standing on the corner of Woodruff Road and 385, holding a poster board that said "My team sucks." It was we lost that game to Clemson. South Carolina had that 5-game winning streak over the Tater Snaps. And I took a Facebook bet with somebody in one of those groups I was in back then. And so I did it. And my son videoed it so he could post it in that group that I was out there holding this sign on the corner of Woodruff Road and 385. People honking at me, laughing, driving by. And I had that hat on.
We can get you.
It's not on my channel. It's somewhere else. I'll have to find it.
What the hell is that, dude? That looks like something Lisa Harkins put together. Let's just go.
Yeah, no shit. It looks like something somebody's grandma made when grandma had a little bit too much eggnog.
Right? Oh God! Look at
this one. Look at that one.
That's an Elmo doll. That's not a damn.
Look, Gamecock bird hat. That's what I wrote up there.
Oh, that's it right there. Right there. That's the one I got. Right next to the eBay on the far right under the Facebook. I'm pretty sure that's the same one.
Well, there you go. So so you can get him one.
Yeah. Come through. Hey, I haven't seen T-Sipper in the chat since he came on here saying apparently after the fact he got the ticket and didn't. I think he's just.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened with that. I just know that it was.
Well, I didn't expect him to do it, but Kale said apparently on the day of he came on and was saying he did it still.
Yeah, he was saying things. He's like, I hope he enjoys that ticket that I got him for that. Or I hope he enjoys the game. And I was like, this dude really do it? I'm like, okay. Because, it's not like unfathomable. There are people that get on these chats that have a little bit of expendable cash, and they'll help somebody out.
Yeah, in the FSU.
We've seen people drop $100 super chats before. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. So I didn't know. You've never met anybody. You can't take them at their word. But yeah, so
it's crazy to come back in after the fact.
He quite frankly sucks.
Yeah, but like I said, I wasn't expecting it. But we're excited. I don't know a lot of teams, I guess, that are going right now that have as much excitement rolling for them in the SEC as Carolina. Texas, you're potentially losing Arch Manning as well as Quinn Ewers. Y'all saw he turned his back on Sark post game.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
So you might be losing Arch. I don't know who in the SEC. I guess I'm really excited about thinking they're going to have a good year.
Auburn thinks that they've turned the corner. If you listen to their fan base, I'm just telling you what I've read.
No shit.
That they think.
I haven't seen that. Where are they getting that from?
It's because they picked up some transfer portal players. We picked up some transfer portal players last year.
Yeah.
It's a freeze alert jackpot. You need to be worried about the freeze alert jackpot.
Yeah.
The freeze alert. They're going to be rolling with that freshman quarterback too, or no? They're probably going to go Jackson Arnold. You said he went there.
Every time they get like one recruit or whatever, it's always freeze alert, freeze alert.
Rob, will you put the link in the chat, please?
Oh yeah, sure. I thought
Guess
I
somebody
did.
wanted to join up.
Well, you did, but I mean, I guess it's way back or something.
There you go. There's a link.
I can head out if somebody's in the back rooms too.
We're getting ready to. Oliver doesn't have Peyton Thorne anymore. Thank you, Brock.
Look at his skull. He's probably some kind of.
What's he doing? Ziggy Cam. What the hell? There's no way that's comfortable.
Oh, all right, Peckerhead. Go ahead and sign out of here, buddy.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for my Gamecocks. By the way, Quarter Zip about jumped up and bit him in the ass last night. He got screwed by some terrible free throws.
That was awful. Old Alabama man shit in the bed there at the free throw line.
Yep. So, and I told Kale, I think one of these big three were going to ruin their seed. I just feel it. Lamont Paris, he's kind of like Shane Beamer. He just jumps up and bites you in the ass when you least expect it.
Yeah. So, who they got next? Vandy?
Oh, shit. Is it?
I think they got Vandy next.
I think it's like the top three in the SEC. So probably what is it? Vandy, then who else? Tennessee, right?
Florida. Somewhere sometime soon.
So I'm taking my.
They don't play Tennessee. They don't play them until the very last game of the season. They only play them once.
My son wants to go to a basketball game, so I'm going to take him to the February 1st matchup when you guys play Texas A&M. So
that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Hopefully they don't have any weirdos coming to the game, doing their nut grabbing.
My son what the little white guy, the little guys in the white fucking outfits are doing down there dancing. I don't want to do all that.
They were there. They were off the chain. Did you say the one where they had their little yell rally or whatever it is before the Texas game?
Fuck them.
And that one weirdo was out there. He was like, we're going to saw the horns off that steer. I can't stand the color burnt orange. He said, "This is not." I don't remember how he led up to what he was saying. He's like, "We are compound, complex, Tefo fighting Texas Aggie." Oh,
and then he said like whatever some coach never belonged here anyway.
Yeah, coach. Whatever was that? The baseball coach?
I can't even. I think so.
Yeah, it must have been the baseball coach. He said didn't belong here anyway.
But that's we for the next live show. That should be punishment for the season. We'll have to figure out a bet on that, and the loser has to do one of the Texas A&M cheers in front of the live.
Well, there's another funny one you ought to go look. They did some news conference like segment, and they were it's the same two kids like walking these two news anchors through like their chant, and they're like, no, you got to do this, and they hunched over and told them to put their hands on their fucking knees, like they're about to bend over. Like, no, you got to do this. It was just so cringy. It was like a local news segment. You have to look it up after the stream. It's worth it. It's like 2 minutes. But go Gamecocks. Quarter zip until you win some shit. Zip that shit all the way up your face. All right? I need to see progress, and I need to see it quick. Shane Beamer, you own the state. You run the state. Don't forget it. Don't let an Illinois loss let you forget you own the state. Go Cox.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, Jesus. Jarrett, welcome to the program.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, Jarrett.
You got the Ohio State game right, score-wise, but you got the Notre Dame PSU game wrong in a way. You said that it would be a blowout.
I picked Notre Dame to win. I thought they would blow them out, but
it was not what you expected. And I thought that PSU was going
to. Don't look to me to pick games. The fucking one that picks games in this house is my wife sitting over there.
Oh, okay.
She got fucking 22 right in the damn bowl pick'em challenge.
Damn.
Yeah, they're Notre Dame's wide receivers were the ones that bailed them out in that game. I mean, they just made some insane grabs. Some of those passes that Riley Leonard threw were not good passes, and they were able to make plays on them. So
Yeah, Riley Leonard did
Watching
decent.
NFL games where these wide receivers, anytime a ball's thrown to them and they trip over their fucking tampon string, they're like, "Where's the flag, ref?" Fuck you. Catch the ball, you pussies.
I can't believe James Franklin lost another big game. But I mean, they had.
What do you mean? He's fucking that's like ops normal jackpot. That motherfucker.
They made a wide. They had a touchdown. Nick Singleton could have walked into the end zone backwards.
He didn't look. He didn't look at the ball before going into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But Notre Dame, they looked good, but I mean, that passing just did not look good from Riley Leonard. It looked like he had to struggle just to throw that ball over 20 yards.
Well, hold on. The way that he plays has gotten them to the national championship game. They've got wins over the SEC champion. They're not a fluke.
I won't say they are a fluke, but I think what's going to be his Achilles heel is throwing the ball.
They went this far with him that way. I'm not saying they're going to beat Ohio State, but they deserve to be in the playoff championship final there.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying I think what's going to be a struggle for them is throwing the ball because Riley Leonard can't throw accurately.
That was the same thing that we had when they were playing, how are they going to throw the ball against Georgia? They didn't have to throw it.
Well, they're going to have to against Ohio State. You know that. They're going to have to throw it as perfect as can be. It's going to have to be accurate. It can't be like how he threw it in PSU where it was like what Jackpot said. They're trying to make a play for the ball, and he underthrows it or tries to overthrow it.
Brock says, imagine your son going to Texas A&M and come back home for the holidays with a tattoo. And when you ask about it, he says, Dad, I'm a yell leader.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Texas A&M's not a real service academy school, and anybody who says it,
did they act this weird back when they were like in the Big 12? So they've always had these traditions. I guess just social media or whatever just kind of brought it to the forefront.
What a shithole.
Uncle Lou says he's going to start trolling A&M fans in the chat because it's something that popped up on one of his streams, like what he has to do, something I don't know what it was, but like he's going to make that a point to troll all the A&M fans that believe it's a service academy.
Well, it's not a service academy because the people that graduate from Army and Navy, you're commissioned as an officer once you graduate from those schools.
Right.
Yeah, it's mandatory, and you have to go serve. You don't. That's not what you do at A&M. They just have an ROTC program.
Yeah, exactly. And he's going to troll them nonstop because that's what he said he's going to do. I thought it was hilarious. For Clemson, I hear they're getting possibly PSU's DC. That's what I heard. It's like.
I think you heard it. There's
it's highly probable.
It's not happening.
You don't believe so? It looked up on one of my searches that it's highly probable they're getting DC.
I read DC not in the mix is what I read, but we'll see.
Well, who's the person that you thought that they're trying to get as DC?
I already told you Dabo's going to run the defense this year and donate the $2 million to the Clemson NIL. And then wait till Venables gets fired and brings him back. There's my prediction.
Well, it sounds like a good one because Brett Venables is going not up. He's going down real fast.
Well, he went down going to Oklahoma. Who the fuck wants to go there?
Yeah. He was better off in the Big 12, and then he got to the SEC, and I guess it messed him up, I guess.
Sports Talk with Tom Bailey says Will Muschamp for the Clemson DC. Rob, would you take Will as a DC?
Are you just trolling me this late at night, fucking Jack?
No, I'm just asking you, would you?
No. I don't want that guy anywhere near my fucking team.
He's got a really good defensive mind,
Rob. He's a known failure. I don't want him anywhere near my team.
He's the player.
He's a known failure. I don't want him anywhere near my team.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
you want Bobo as your offensive coordinator, Jackpot?
Who?
Would you take Mike Bobo back as your offensive coordinator? They're both basically the same fucking Georgia fuck ups. I don't want those.
Probably not, but
Yeah, there you go. That's where I think of Bobo and Muschamp are on the same level. They could be video coordinators for the scout team, I guess.
Will Muschamp was actually a good DC, but Mike Bobo is terrible. Well, in my opinion, Mike Bobo, I never saw him play during his tenure as a coordinator before Kirby. I've only seen what he has done now, and from what you told me in our previous chat, it doesn't seem like he performed well as coordinator at Georgia before Kirby.
Oh, it's terrible. Hey, look, I gotta bring Sven on, but thank you, Jared. Have a good night.
it seemed like to me Georgia had better players on offense before Kirby came there. When Bobo was OC with Mark Richt, but they just couldn't put it together. But it seemed like they always, I don't know, seemed like they had better receivers, better runners.
Guys, I have a question. Do you really believe Bobo is a bad OC? He smoked you, Rob. He smoked you. Clemson's defense supposed to be good. He smoked you.
That's
In
fine.
all phases of the game. Bobo is the second best coordinator in Georgia's history. The second best. The second best. And I hate Georgia. Just for the record. Mike Bobo.
He's not lying there.
Sven, where are you at, buddy? Are you at
It's
I don't know where you are.
4:27 a.m. and I'm in Berlin, Germany.
So you're in Berlin talking to our radio program here to call up and tell me that Bobo's the second best defensive coordinator in Georgia history. Very good, sir. I appreciate that.
He is.
Hey, could you cuss at me in German? That way I'll feel offended. That would be awesome too.
Ich kann mit dir in Deutsch reden. By the way, Billy Cole was in Germany, and he also speaks German.
Of course he does. Billy was also in the Golden Gloves. Did you know that? Billy can box, but he's 70 now. I don't know if he's going to fight anymore.
I don't box, and I hate weapons.
Sven, why are you up at 4:27 in the morning? Do you just set the alarm clock to watch the...
No. I watched a bit of Commanders against Tampa.
Yeah.
And I'm retired since January 1st.
Oh, so you're retired, so you have plenty of time to...
Yeah, I decided with 57 years old, 35 years of work is enough, and I enjoy my life.
Well, very good.
There
Sven,
you go.
you're always welcome here. I got to figure out what you asked me out in German earlier, though.
Now, jackpot. I have good news and bad news for South Carolina. The good news is your ladies hoops team will win another title. The bad news is you should pray the South Carolina men's hoop team wins one game in the SEC. They are absolute horrible. Absolute terrible.
They almost won yesterday, though, against the number 2 team in the country.
I know. I saw that Auburn game. I watched it, and Broom got injured.
Yeah, that was pretty late in the game.
He rolled up his ankle. But,
is that the one? Is that the one I was calling neckbeard last year, Rob?
Yeah. Exactly this guy. Yeah, and we lost to freaking Kentucky. I gratulated Bonnie.
Well,
I think your team was favored in that game, weren't they?
So what I want to know from you, from the outside, I don't know if you know about the situation at Mississippi State. What do you think? Will Mississippi State be in 2025? We have the second hardest schedule in all of NCAA. We play 4 playoff teams at home, plus Ole Miss, Mizzou on the road, Florida on the road, the Weirdos, aka Aggies, and Florida, and Arkansas.
I think you're going to take some paddlings.
Yeah, you're going to take some paddlings. The question's going to be, will you win a conference game this year?
Who's the quarterback going to be?
No.
Because the one quarterback, the young guy transferred out, right?
Yeah, to LSU, Michael van Buren. Shapen is back.
Sven, I have a question for you. Why is it that you have Mississippi State? You're in Germany. You could pick a different team, sir.
No, I can't.
No, you can't. Why is that?
It's very simple. I was married. My wife passed away some years ago on leukemia.
Sorry.
It's another thing, yeah. And her dad was a staff sergeant in the U.S. Air Force from Tupelo, Mississippi.
Okay.
And he was on the Tempelhof Airfield in Berlin. And he met my mother-in-law, and they married, and I married her daughter. And he was a Mississippi State alum. Mississippi State in the early. Now it's the academy at the University for Space Force, the new Space Force. And in the early days, it was a university for parts of the Air Force.
Okay.
They had some. And he had a degree from Mississippi State. He's a Mississippi State alum. And my son went to Toronto University in Canada.
Okay.
And he told him, the last 2 years, you can do whatever you want, but your degree comes from Mississippi State. You go to Mississippi State.
All right.
So, and granddad said it.
Your son went
and
there.
He went there.
All went there, and now
And my son went there, and I visited him, and he took me to my first ball game was at Dudy Noble Field, a baseball game, because I'm a baseball coach since 35 years for little league kids, age 6 to 14, and he took me to Dudy Noble Field. I couldn't believe it. It was the derby against Ole Miss. It was unbelievable. 17,000 people. It was crazy like hell. And I was absolutely.
Do you have a cowbell?
Of course I have.
Okay,
But
I just want to make sure, because if you didn't have a cowbell, the show would get you a cowbell and send it to Berlin for you.
No, you wouldn't do that. And you know why?
Yeah, I would, sir.
The transportation is $85 for one cowbell.
We'd figure that out.
No, I have cowbells.
Okay.
And I will be in the States in November.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you, sir.
Yeah, I go to the Expo.
You're going to go to the Expo. All right.
Yeah. The good thing is with Mississippi State, I write an email to the Mississippi State administration, and it's no joke. I can prove that. I always get 2 free tickets.
Well, good for you, sir. I hope you get to go.
It's 4,518 miles.
Peg and Megan says, ironically, your English is better than anyone at Mississippi State.
My English is terrible.
Your English is great, sir. Don't let him fool you on that.
No.
Well, hey, I appreciate you joining the show, sir.
Yeah, I get out of the way. And by the way, Jackpot, your new edge rusher is really good. Savion Hardy from JUCO. He's the number 1 JUCO player in the US.
Yeah.
And I saw his tape. He is great.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He is great.
He's following a long line there of good edge rushers. So
your season will be decided by your quarterback. Anything else is in place.
Okay.
When your quarterback is good, you will go to the playoffs. If he stinks up, you go 8-4. It's simple as that. It's all on Lenore Sellers.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish you all the best. And you too, Sir Rob, with Clemson.
Thank you, Sven.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Kick me out of here.
We're not kicking you out, man. You have a good night, Sven.
They're serious though about the cowbell thing, Rob.
I know.
I had a friend in high school whose parents met at Mississippi State, and they like in the 70s, I guess, and they both had their cowbells still. They were on the mantle at their house. I remember they're painted. One of them was painted like a cream color with the maroon writing on it, and the other one was actually maroon. So,
well, the fact that Sven gets up at 4:00 in the morning to watch this show, we appreciate that. Thank you, Sven. All right, Jackpot. It's been a good show. We found the coolest Mississippi State fan. What else did we learn tonight? I don't know. People don't like Chris Justice.
What's that?
People don't like Chris Justice.
They don't like Chris Justice because he made an incorrect call there.
Jackpot kept working Friday, but didn't.
What's that?
Jackpot could have kept working Friday, but didn't.
I could have, but I didn't. Yeah. Now, I actually, believe it or not, I went out and worked 2 stores today, so I made it up.
Oh, and Jackpot also does not like Bruce Pearl. Fuck Bruce Pearl. That's what we learned on the program.
Yeah, that's dedication when you're out working chips on the Sabbath.
Yeah, well, not as dedicated as Vin waking up at 4:00 in the morning for this show.
That's true.
All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.